Hi everybody, this is Alicia Mark Ford. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States, and I live in St. Paul, Minnesota. And today we are doing Valentine Kisses Class to Go. The Valentine Kisses is an online exclusive bundle. It is exclusive, so it's not in any catalogs. It's only found online. You can find that in my online store. And I'm just waiting for a few people to pop in and say hello. And we can get started. Today is Thursday, January 15th. And yeah, we're doing Valentine's. 2 weeks in a row. This is our second Valentine series. Next week, Thursday at 2 p.m., I will go live, and that will be, hi Debbie, welcome. That will be the coffee break and cards with Lish, and we are going to make Valentine treat holders that can be used for Valentine's or anything. Birthday treat, just I love you treat, whichever. So that's what we're going to be doing next week. This week, like I said, is Valentine Kisses. So let me just pull out my here. Let's flip cameras and let's get started. Okay. So how are you, Debbie? What's new? Anything? Okay. So now you can see my tabletop. I have my kits out, ready to go. And this right here is the Valentine Kisses bundle. So I keep, hi Lori, welcome. I have in my one envelope, I have both my stamps and my dies stored in one. When you order this, you will receive your stamps in one envelope and your dies in a separate envelope. I also put most of my dies on a magnetic sheet that is separate. Debbie's good, nothing new. Yeah, I know the feeling. Nothing new, but that's okay, right? Okay, so these are the cards that we are making today. Right here. Aren't they cute? I just love this bundle so much. And we are going to make a fun fold because I love fun folds, and we're going to be making a faux step card. And then this one, last but not least, this cute little bear with the bubble bath. So if you place an order of $50 or more in my online store, you will receive the Class to Go kit for free as a thank you gift from me. So everything that I'm doing today in this video, everything that I show you, will be included in your kit, except for your inks. You need to have that yourself, scissors, dimensionals, you know what I mean. And per Stampin' Up! Rules, I cannot send any stamped images. So you have to stamp and die cut. If I die cut something from a different bundle, I will die cut that for you, such as this heart right here is from Endless Love. So that would be in your kit. Also, if I emboss something, so this card and this card, that will be embossed for you. Okay. So just want to refresh my screen here. Okay. So let's take the stamps out. Here's our stamps. And here's our dies. I just love this set because I love the kissing booth. Oh my gosh, that kissing booth is so cute. And it doesn't have to be a kissing booth. It really reminds me of the Peanuts and Lucy with her psychiatry booth. Oh my god, that would be the cutest card ever. So yeah, so the first card we're gonna make is this pool party card. I'm going to move this stuff out of the way because I did not mount. A lot of my stuff is going to be stamped and die cut, okay, today for speed. However, I am going to mount my stamps while we're doing, because there is something I want to show you how I do the second card. So I'm going to move these out of the way. Okay. So in your first kit, you will receive a pool party card base that will be, this will be cut and scored for you. You'll receive a piece of basic white for the inside of your card. You'll receive a piece of basic white that has been embossed for you with the beautiful embossing folder. I can never remember the name of this one. Everybody calls it the paper towel embossing folder. You'll receive a piece of pool party for your mat, a piece of basic white, and then you'll also receive a piece of pretty in pink to die cut, strawberry slush for die cutting, and you'll receive a piece of basic white for stamping and die cutting. I have all my pieces and parts already cut out. Don't forget she cost a nickel. Exactly. So if you're going to make that, there's a cute little sign that goes with this bundle. See the sign? Isn't that cute? That die cuts a sign. You could easily write 5 cents on there. Or the doctor's in. I think, no, she had in and out, didn't she, Lori? In and out. I think something like that. All right. You can also put 5 cents on this cute little jar here. Okay, so let's start. We are going to take our pool party card base and we are going to fold and burnish our card base. Just like so. We are going to take our embossed layer. I just love this. I love this so much. I love the dots and the little flower thingy that's inside. It's so, so pretty. And it's so dainty. I just think it's, I know it covers the entire thing, but there's something about this embossing folder. It just seems dainty to me. So you want to place your embossing folder on your card base and make sure all your margins are even. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to set this aside. We are going to take our piece of basic white that is your mat for your pool party. And we are going to do a little blending today. So I'm going to grab my blending brush and my scrap paper. Okay. And let's see, I have all my stuff set here. We're going to take some pool party. And basically what we want is, I just want to cut the white. Okay, so I want to put some pool party right through the center, and just through the center where the kissing booth is going to go. This way it kind of breaks that up or cuts the white. So I'm going to ink up my blending brush with pool party, and I always go off and then with a very light touch, because I don't want too much, because I don't want it to overpower, because I like the lightness and softness of this card. And so just going to, I'm kind of going like sort of at a diagonal, but mostly the darkest will be in the center. So you want to just cover it where the kissing booth will go. Do you guys like to blend or use blending brushes? It took me a little bit to get used to them, because I'm old school and we did everything with sponge daubers when or like the actual sponge. So it took me a little bit to get used to them, but once I used them, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so awesome. So the next thing I want to do is I want to grab my dark Pool Party blend. Sorry for the noise. I have all my stuff on the side here. I'm going to move these out of the way because we're going to splatter some Pool Party onto where we just did some blending, and I'm notorious to getting it everywhere. I'll have speckles on everything. So what you can do, there's 2 ways to do this, okay? You like blending, Lori? Yeah. It's just so I don't know. It's so pretty. Some people take their cap and flick it. I used to do that. I don't do that anymore because it really does wreck the end or your tip of your blending brush. But if you have like replaced your blending brushes and your dark is still decent, you could set this aside and use this for flicking if you would prefer to do it like that, because you do get a deeper speckle. Okay, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm just going to tap my blending brush on my bone folder, just like that. And we're going to get some speckles on there. You don't need many, just a little bit, just to give it that little bit more, tiny bit dark, because we went so light with the blending brush. And then we're going to take our parts and pieces. Now you're going to need to die cut. Oh, you're welcome, Lori. You're going to take your kissing booth, your piece of Pretty in Pink. I am just blah, blah, blah today. Okay, so you're going to take your piece of Pretty in Pink and you're going to die cut that your kissing booth. I'm just placing this on here right now to see where I like it. And now the border of your kissing booth is going to be glued down with liquid glue. And we're going to use on the front of the kissing booth, the stand, I suppose you could call it. We're going to pop that up with dimensionals. Now I do want this closer to the top because I am putting 3 hearts at the bottom. So I'm just placing that on my piece that we just did the blending on. And then I'm going to take my stand and I'm going to grab my dimensionals and we're going to put a couple dimensionals on here. So, you know, the person who's sitting behind the kissing booth needs leg room, so it's got to pop up a little bit, right? All right. And now I'm just going to take this and I'm going to, you know, I'm not going to the bottom. I'm just going to go up just a little bit. And I'm going to put that there. Let me get this out of the way. Okay, so I cut out 3 hearts with strawberry slush. Okay. And I am going to stamp the little tiny stamps on here. So, like for instance, let me open this up here. If for those of you who, I don't know how you're storing your stamps, but I found this to be, I really like this way with the new stamps. I keep both sheets of the plastic that come on the stamps, and then I make a hinge out of it with packing tape. I just put a piece of packing tape on the back and fold it over. And this way I can keep them in that pouch like that so that the stamps don't stick to the paper. And then this way it's easier. It's just on and off. You don't have to peel that thing off and lose it all the time. So I'm going to take the little lips and I'm going to take the 3 hearts. And let me grab another block here. And then we're going to take the XOXO, the hugs and the kisses. And we are going to stamp those in strawberry slush. So we're doing color on color. Okay, and we're just going to stamp on our hearts. Okay, so I'm going to do the... Oh, another tip, huh? Good deal. I'm glad. So I'm going to take and I'm going to stamp the 3 hearts just kind of in the center of the die cut heart. And I'm going to take the lips. I love these lips. They're so stinking cute. I'm going to take these lips and we're going to put that in the center of another heart. And this is up to you. You could leave them plain. It would be perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. So now we're going to take our XOXO, our hugs and our kisses, And we're going to stamp that in the center of the third heart. Okay, I'm going to close this up. And we are going to put these on with dimensionals. Everything is sticking to me today, and I haven't even really used much glue, and I don't have like sticky glue on my fingers yet. I don't know. Maybe it's static because it's so dry. It's the only thing I can think of. Might have to get a little humidifier in my craft room. Okay, so let's peel off these backs. And I'm going to put these on here. And I'm putting the 3 hearts in the center. So I'm going to start with that. I'm going towards the bottom right here. And then I'm going to put the hugs and kisses on the left and the little lips on the right. Okay. And I do want, even though you have the blending on here, I am still going to ground my kissing booth so it doesn't look like it's floating in the air. And I'm going to use my light Pool Party. And I'm just going to draw, well, not draw, just going to flick like a little shadow line underneath it so it doesn't look like it's going to take off. And just remember that when you're using your blending brushes, this will lighten as it dries. I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to put this on the Pool Party mat that comes in your kit with some seal, and we're going to put this right here because this is going to go on our card front. Make sure that it's straight-ish. Okay, and then you're going to die cut one of these cute little banners. It's up to you if you want to keep the hearts in the middle or not. I'm going to take the little hearts out. You can save them if you'd like and put them on your card as little splatters of hearts for embellishing. You can also cut this with a adhesive sheet on the back. That way you won't have such a ooey gooey mess like I'm going to have here. My glue is spurting everywhere. Okay, so I'm just going to take my green glue that I have in a different bottle. This is the Tombow green glue. And I am just going to add some on here. Just some little dots. Doesn't have to be a ton because you don't need a lot. Just enough so it sticks to our booth. Okay. All right. So we are going to adhere this to the front of our kissing booth. Just like that. I just love the dies for this. They're so dainty and so cute. Okay, so here I also stamped and I die cut the bouquet of flowers, the 2 cute little birdies, and the little jar. Okay. I'm going to grab my blends over here. Let's see. Let's get some stuff out of the way. Make some space. Sorry for putting this in the camera view, but it probably won't make as much noise. So I'm going to take my Pool Party and I'm going to color my little birds. Now you will stamp these, and I would stamp, color, and then die cut, but I did this today just to save a little time. And I'm not doing, since they're so small, I'm not doing a traditional blending on these birds. I'm just going to take the dark and do the wings and the feathers, and then I'm going to go over with the light. I'm using them more as markers than blending markers. Okay, and then I'm going to take the light peach pie and I'm going to color in his little beak, just like so. Okay, and then I'm going to take, let's see, we're going to color the bouquet of flowers. We are going to color that in Pretty in Pink and Strawberry Slush. And again, I'm not going to do blending with it. I'm just going to use them to color. Okay, I'm going to start here with this, and I'm just going to make the little every other stripe with the colors. So I love Strawberry Slush and Pretty in Pink. This one's the light, I want the dark. Except I'm a brush end person. I know a lot of people color with the nub end, but I like the brush end. And then I'm going to take the light Daffodil Delight, and I'm going to color the centers of the flowers. I'm going to leave my daisies white, but I am going to take the Lemon Lime Twist, the light one, and I'm going to color the leaves in with the Lemon Lime Twist. The only blending brush I forgot to pull out, or blending marker. Jeez Louise. I'm just going to add just a little bit. Like I said, this does not take much coloring. Just a little bit. Then I see I missed a little bit of piece on my, so we have that. Then I'm going to color my jar in Daffodil Delight, and I am going to color it in light Daffodil Delight. I'm going to keep the center, this white part, I'm going to keep the label per se, I'm going to keep that white. Then I'm going to take the Pool Party and I'm going to do a stripe, dark light, dark light. Do you guys like to color? I love to color. It's like my favorite thing about stamping is the coloring part. Okay, and like I said, I'm not using these as traditional blends, just as markers. And then we have that. Now, I did save the center heart piece that comes out of the heart when you die cut the kissing booth. I did save that, and I am going to put that in the center of my jar. I'm just going to dab a little bit of glue right in the center. I'm going to take my pick tool, take your pick tool, pick up my little heart, and I'm going to put that right over that dot of glue, and I'm just going to hold it down with my finger so it does not stay attached. Lori loves coloring ever since she was young. Me too. Oh my gosh, I love to color. I even did, like when the adult coloring books were all the rage, I did that. I just love everything about it. Okay, so now we have all our parts and pieces that you stamped and die cut colored. And now what I did was I stamped Bear Hugs and Kisses in Strawberry Slush on a piece of scrap basic white. I wanted it just to say Hugs and Kisses because I do not have the bear from the set that comes with the bundle in this card. So I am just going to cut it out. And we are going to do some fussy cutting. I grabbed my ribbon scissors here. Let's grab my fussy cutting scissors. And what I'm going to do is I am just going to cut right like this. Keep it straight because I'm going to do the and kisses straight. I'm not going to do the traditional go around the letters. And I'm just going to snip that off and set that aside. I'm going to cut Bear off. And then I'm going to fussy cut the word Hugs. And to do that, you want to start, I start at an angle, and you just want to move the paper. And that's all you do, is move the paper. And then you're just going to go around, like so. Fussy cutting is not my favorite thing, but I don't mind it. Like some people hate it, I don't mind it. Okay. And it's kind of like walking and chewing gum. I have a hard time talking while I fussy cut. Okay, I'm going to go back and kind of round off where I think that it doesn't look the best. And like right under here, such a little piece. Grab it and just move the paper. See how just the paper's moving? I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to go back up here. I'm I'm going to go around the H again because I left too much white. Okay, so there we have hugs. Now, if you'd like, you could take your trimmer and cut this. This is pretty small, and I just don't think it has to be perfect because it's going on this kissing booth. And you know, when you see like somebody makes up something, they just might have hand, you know, drew it on or whatever. So there we have kisses. I just don't want to throw my and away. My ampersand. Okay, and we're just gonna cut. And two, when you put your scissors, and if you're holding it with your like resting on your finger, you have a better chance of cutting it straight. Okay, there we have hugs and kisses, and I am going to put these with dimensionals, and I am going to use mini dimensionals for this. Right here. And we're going to put that right over the top of our kissing booth. And I do have some mini dimensionals that I did cut in half that I'm going to use. And I'm just going to use, let's see, is that hanging over? No. So it's like you're using one dimensional, but you're cutting it in half. So you have two. Okay. And we are going to put this on the top, just like so. Then we're going to do the little and symbol. Take another dimensional that I cut in half. And if you have a hard time picking up little things, by all means use your reverse tweezers, which I think I'm going to do right now. Just to kind of get a better, because I didn't cut this one all the way through. I'm just going to leave that right on there. Remove that backing off. Put the and right below it. And I'm putting these right on the booth. Peeled off. Like that. And then we want to take our kisses and do the same thing. Now this one you could probably use a whole dimensional, but since I already have this one cut, I'm just going to use it. Okay, so then we have hugs and kisses, and I can see I should move this one up a hair. Just like that, and like that. Okay, so now we're going to take our birds, flip them over, and we're going to flip this over and this over. Everything's getting dimensionals today. Okay, oops, I got two. How'd that happen? And let's see, we want one towards the top of the bouquet. And then we're going to go one in the, I guess it landed on the top of the jar. The money jar, right? So I'm going to take my bouquet of flowers and I'm just going to tuck it underneath with the dimensionals towards the top. And I'm going to take my jar and I want it to look like it's sitting on the booth. So I'm just going to set it right on there. And then I'm going to take my birds and I'm going to put the one that the beak is facing left, I'm going to put at the top, like he's landed on the booth. And I'm going to put one on the bottom right of the booth. And then it looks like he's like sitting on the ground there. Then I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to put dimensionals on this. And I'm just going to put them in all four corners and one in the middle. We don't like sagging middles, do we? I am just really having an issue with my fingers today. I don't know what the deal is. Okay. We're going to take this and we're just going to make sure we have the card opening the right direction. And we are going to put this right in the middle. Just like that. And then I am going to use, these are from the annual catalog. These are the opal round assortment, and I'm going to use the clear ones for my embellishments. I'm going to put a big one here and a little there, and I'm going to take another little, and I'm going to go right here with that. So there you have it. There's card number 1. What do you guys think? You guys, I love this one. This is probably my favorite one. But, I'm going to go on to the second one, and then I'm going to say the second one was my favorite one, right? So there's card number 1. Card number 2 is the Flirty Flamingo card. I used Flirty Flamingo for my main color for this card. So let's pull out the card. I just love red and Flirty Flamingo together for Valentine's. It's so pretty. Let's kind of clean up our space here. I got a big old mess. I want to clean my stamps off. Oh, thanks, Debbie. Thanks, Lori. Because I want to show you how I stamp the background. That's why I did not load my stamps. And for some reason, I'm a little pokey today, so bear with me. I don't think I slept very good last night, maybe. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to load this up so you guys know what I was talking about at the beginning. So I'm going to make a trio of stamped images for my background, and instead of stamping them individually, I am going to stamp them at one time. But I want to make a triangle. So I'm going to do the hugs and kisses. And I just want to do this now so I don't lose them. So you're just going to load up your stamp, your block with your 3 stamps and put them in like a triangle, whichever way you'd like. They're just really itty bitty and I don't want to lose them. Okay, so in your card kit, you are going to receive a piece of Flirty Flamingo card base, a piece of basic white for the inside of your card, a piece of Flirty Flamingo for your card mat, and you'll receive 2 pieces of DSP, and you'll receive this will be die cut for you because I use the Creative Haven dies for this. I really like that banner die. And then you'll receive a piece to stamp and die cut your bear. You'll receive a piece of Flirty Flamingo to die cut your heart. And you'll receive a heart die cut for you out of basic white for your sentiment. This is from the Endless Love that we used last week. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do, just give me 1 second here, you guys. I'm sorry. I have got a mess and it's making me nervous. I just want to move these out of the way. Okay, thank you for being patient with me today. All right, so we are going to fold and burnish our card base so we get a nice crisp fold, and see how it's not laying flat. It's easier to decorate when it's flat, but if you want, you can leave it open and lay your stuff that way so that it's not like a bumped up. It's easier to place your items on the front. Okay, so what I was saying before with the stamps, I wanted to make my own background, and I am going to stamp with Flirty Flamingo on Flirty Flamingo, and we are going to make a little background with the hearts and the lips. And I am just going to, I'm going to start on the top left corner, and I am just going to make a triangle so that it looks random. Random-ish, I should say. Now it doesn't have to be a ton, just enough to make it look like, your own paper, your own background paper. We're just going to do that. I'm going to go a little bit lower, a little bit higher there. So there we have our background. I'm going to close this up, and I'm going to take my mat, my Flurry Flamingo, and we're going to use seal, and we're going to adhere that to the card base. And it's hard to tell because it's color on color, but you just want to make sure that it has the same margins all the way around. I'm confident that that's where I want it, so I will really push it in, make sure it's good and stuff. I'm going to add seal to the piece of Made with Love DSP. And now I'm going to put this on the left-hand side of my mat, and I'm going to leave about, I don't know, is that like a 1/4 inch? Just like that. Yeah, I guess it's a tip roll today, Lori. Okay, and then I'm going to take my other piece of DSP, and I'm going to put that in the middle. Okay. And this will be die cut for you. And we're just going to go with that. Then I'm going to use the heart as my sentiment, for my sentiment. And I'm going to do the bear hugs and kisses again. I know we used that on the last one, but I love this one. You can use whatever sentiment you'd like that fits who you're giving it to. I'm going to stamp this in the tuxedo black memento. I like to, because the bear is stamped in the black, it kind of ties everything together. I'm going to go right in the middle, just like that. Okay. And this is also going to lay flat. So I'm going to put that on the card right away. And I'm just going to put it towards the top, not all the way to the DSP banner, but towards the top. And then I'm just going to line up where that, the little curve in the heart is, right with that. Okay. Now we are going to color our bear in crumb cake. Make sure I have my crumb cake blends. And when I color with my blends, I always start with the dark. And so what I would like to, I'm just going to go in a circular motion, and I am going to stay to just like, because I want him darker. So I'm going to do mostly around the edges, and I'm going to fill in more than, I normally would. And I'm just going in a circular motion. I want his belly to be a little bit lighter, so I'm not going to put any of my dark there. I'm going to put some on his tootsies, and I'm going to put a little bit on his ears. I'm going to leave the top open to do blending. And I'm going to take my light crumb cake, and I'm going to, this is where you're going to blend it. And you go in a circular motion, and it's kind of like you're going to be too, where you want the dark to go toward, it's like you're pulling it. That way you get like a darker, because when you put the light over the top, you are building up that color. Okay, I'm just going to go and put his ears. I'm going to start where I put the dark and go up. You pull a little bit of the dark with it. When you're doing this right away, and especially on your glass mat, you have time before the alcohol marker dries. So you're going to get more of a good blend if you do it right away. Okay, and now I'm going to go, like I said, I'm pulling that dark over to the light. And we're just going to pull that into his feet, because we didn't put very much on his feet. Pull that down. Okay, and then his snout, I am going to color with the ivory blend, and I'm not doing any blending. I'm just coloring. And you could absolutely color this if you don't have the bronze and ivory. You could color with just the crumb cake. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to use Flirty Flamingo, and I'm going to use the light, and I'm going to color in his ears. And I'm just going to do that and like that. Is this the light? Yeah, I guess. And then I'm going to add a little bit on his cheek, so it's kind of like he's blushing a little bit. But I'm not going to go in a circle. I'm just going to kind of make little tiny flick lines so that it looks natural and not like, you know, colored on. And now because this is a little bit darker, I'm wondering if I didn't use a dip. No, I used Flirty Flamingo. I'm going to take my color lifter. This is totally up to you. And I'm just going to move that Flirty Flamingo around to fill in the rest. And that one's dry. I use my color lifter a lot, so that was kind of dry. There you go. See, now look at, now this one's really wet. I'm just going to push that pink up. And I'm going to go just a very light touch where I put the little, where he's blushing. And then I'm going to go a little bit like right around here. It's kind of harsh lines. I'm just kind of taking the line off a little bit. Okay, now when you die cut your bear, this is so cool. When you die cut your bear, this makes little, the die makes little notches so that the bear is holding something. Now, you could die cut whatever you'd like. I thought it was really cute with the bear hugs and kisses to die cut a heart. So I find it easier to go from the bottom up. And then you can adjust it however you'd like. Okay, so I'm going to flip my little bear guy over here. We're going to put some dimensionals on him. And I'm going to put one over the heart so that I know he stays in place. I just love how the die cut in this one, because there's a cute teddy bear in this that would be so cute with the bear holding a teddy bear. Okay, and now I'm going to place my bear. I'm going to look where the S is on my hugs, and I am going to, right where his ear, and then there's that little dip, I want that to go around that, like his shoulder. Okay, and then I am going to add some Pearls of Beauty embellishments, and I'm going to use the white ones. And I'm going to put one at the top here, and I'm going to take a little and put it right here. And I'm going to take another little, and I'm going to go doot, 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 right here. So there you have card number 2. And now you know how I said, oh, that first one is my favorite, but you know, I really do like this one too, because I love that sweet bear holding that heart. He's so, so cute. Okay, card number 3 is a fun fold. It is called a faux step card. And the reason why it's a faux step card is because you're not cutting the individual steps for it. You're just making fold lines. So this is the card. And then see it goes like that. You can see the folds. There's the back. So this is what we'll make next. Okay, so in your kit, thanks Lori, thanks Debbie. Okay, now of course, because the kissing booth is my favorite, I had to do it again and do the kissing booth. Okay, so you will receive in your kit, you're going to have 2 card bases, but they will be cut and scored for you. This is the base, and this is like the tent card part. That's a very technical term. tent card part. Now, I really like matting. Okay, so I did decide instead of just a DSP layer to go with a basic white layer in between. So you're going to have a bunch of mats, but they're going to be all cut for you for the correct size of matting to go with your DSP. Those are all the pieces. And then you'll have your DSP strips that will go with your mats, as well as this. You'll have a piece of Flirty Flamingo to die cut your little banner. Now, because we used the banner on the first card, you could definitely use the cute little scallop that goes with this on this one. Okay, and then I've already die cut my parts and pieces out. And then you'll also receive this beautiful paper doily. It is red. There's some bubble bath ones in the set, and then the other side is white. I'm going to use that. Okay, so let's start with the card base. First things first, right? Move these out of the way. Some space. All right. So, have you made a step card or a full step card before? I have. This is like, I love this fun fold. I'm a fun fold girl. So, okay, so the first one is easy. You're just going to fold that in half and burnish it. Okay, I'm going to set that aside. And then you're going to take, and now this is folded or scored. I don't know if you can see the score marks on that. But, so this one you're going to fold like you'd fold a card base. Okay, and then the next fold you're going to fold up. Yeah, Debbie, that's right. We did make these together. Yeah. And Lori loves this fold too. Oh, good. And then we're going to fold the next one down. Um, you know how people say Molten Valley, Molten Valley. I'm an up and down girl. So then it's going to look like this. You just kind of tell how that looks. Okay. It's a very easy, and it's one of those, I feel like it's like the person gets it and they're like, wow, that is so cool. And because it's the faux step card, I don't even think I've made a regular step card since I started making the faux one. Okay, so we are going to add this. For some reason seems kind of big to me. Okay, there we go. We are going to start adding our mats to our card base. And I like to use seal, and of course my seal just ran out. Always, 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 always. One of these times I'm just going to take a brand new seal out of its package and use it to start. I'm going to be daring. All right. If you have never changed a seal before, this is how you do it. You just pop that out and don't look at how dirty mine is. And you're just going to line the holes with the pegs and then put the top back on. And then before I do that, I do have a little gunk in there that I'm going to take out that kind of builds up. And sometimes it can attach to your seal when you're using it, and then that doesn't always run smoothly. So I'm going to put that back in, put the top back on, and commence. All right, so we have our white, basic white. It's going to go right like that. Okay, and we're going to fold up, and we're going to put our other basic white mat, the little strip. I'm going to put that. And now these are, the way they're cut, it's just, it's a basic cutting. It's not an eighth or whatever. So, okay, then this piece goes in the back. That's why they're bigger. Okay, so we're going to put this just like that. I love this side of the paper. Oh, just love those red, the dots. It's so pretty. And we're just going to make sure we have even margins all the way around. Okay, I'm going to do the same down here. And we're going to... Okay, so now I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to make sure I have my folds going the right way. Now, it's up to you. You could definitely use this as the inside of your card. I am choosing to use the back as my card base. You'll see what I mean. So what I'm going to do, let's flip this over. Okay. I am going to take my mat. Do I want to? I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the DSP on the back. I'm thinking that this was in here for my stamping and die cutting. Okay. And this is your card. If you would like to use the other side of the DSP, by all means, go right ahead. And I'm going to put this right on the back. And I'm putting this down first because our other card is going to go over the top of it when we glue it down. Okay, now I am going to put this back. Let's see, I want to make sure I have the right mat. This one. Okay. This is going on the back, but I want to stamp it first. And I want to stamp Happy Valentine's Day. So I'm going to take my stamp. I'm going to grab my Happy Valentine's Day. And now I like to just lay my stamp right on my surface so that I know that it's straight-ish. And it's easier with the clear stamps. And then I put my black on there. And we're going to take our tuxedo black ink. Okay. And I'm just going to stamp Happy Valentine's Day. I'm going to close this up so we don't get ink everywhere, because trust me, I will get ink everywhere on my fingers, my clothes, you name it, I'll have it. As you can see, I already must have ink on my fingers somewhere. Yep, right there. Jeez. Okay, this is going on the back. Except for, you know what? I bet you this is supposed to be my mat. I think I might have missed a piece. Okay, now we're going to flip this over so you can see. Yep, I think I might have not cut enough pieces maybe. Yep. Okay, let's cut a new one. Let's cut a new piece. Okay. Let's see what size we have here. We have 3.5 by 4.25. So let's gonna go 4 by 3.25. All right, now we have our mat. Okay, and this is gonna go on the front. I just like to get these pieces on before I put this this part on my card. It's easier for assembly. Okay, and I'm going to put this right like that. And then I'm going to take the piece of DSP that's cut for you, that will be in your kit. You're going to add seal to it, and you're going to put that right on the front. Just like that. Okay, so now this, to me, this is the hardest part, and it's not even hard. Okay, so you are going to glue this on the back like this and the front. So what you're going to do is you're going to put seal, just 2 lines of it. Okay. And then I like to stand it up. You kind of see what I mean here. If I stand it up and I kind of am looking on the left and the right, and I'll make sure that it's even. And I want it to be even at the bottom so that when the person who receives the card will display it, I'm sure, and you don't want it to be all wonky and fall over. Okay, we're just going to press that down. Then we're going to take this part and we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to use 2 lines of seal, and we're going to do the same thing. I want to make sure it's still attached. Yep, still attached. Now this time, instead of standing up, I'm going to lay it down, and I'm going to lay this, and I'm just going to go like that. And there you have your step card. Isn't that cute? I just love this. There. Okay, so now let's decorate. So I am going to take this red doily and I'm going to center this right in the center here, but I'm going to use dimensionals so that it lifts up just a little bit, and I'm going to use mini dimensionals on this. I'm not going to use a ton because I'm going to put one in the center. You don't need a lot because everything else that's gluing over the top of it, it will be secure. And then I'm just looking for places that I can put a dimensional and it won't show through. I have 1, 2, buckle my shoe. Let's go one here. And let's go one more. Well, maybe right here. Yeah, I'm just using 4. It doesn't need to be a ton. Okay, we'll get rid of those. Bring our card in. And now it's round, so it doesn't matter. But I like it to be where the scallops at least are straightish. Okay, so we have that. Now I'm going to attach my kissing booth. But before we attach the kissing booth, I am going to stamp, giving you a big smooch right on our booth. And like I said before, this is your card. You choose what sentiment you'd like. I just thought that was so cute. Okay, and again, I'm just going to I use my grid lines on my mat. And I just put it on my block. And we're going to take our tuxedo black ink. Sometimes you use tear and tape. That's a really good idea, Lori. Yeah, that's good to use, is tear and tape. Okay, so I am going to put this towards the bottom, but not all the way to the bottom. And I don't want to go too far up to the top because I'm going to put that little cute little banner on there. I'm just going to stamp it down. I'm going to close this up. Okay, so now we are going to put this with dimensionals again. And we're going to put this on the right hand side, not at the bottom, but about right here. Okay, then I'm going to take my top of my kissing booth and I'm going to use some liquid glue. And again, you could use adhesive sheets for this. I always forget, unless the adhesive sheets are sitting right in front of me. Okay, so we're just going to tuck this under, just like so, and glue that down. Push it down. Okay, because it's basically, you're just attaching it to the doily. If you wanted to put these on your doily first, you sure could. Okay, let's take our little banner and do the same thing. We're going to add some liquid glue to this. Okay, we're just going to do little dots at the little corner, the little triangle tips there, and then at this top, and put this on the front. And that's why, depending on where you don't want it to go over your sentiment that you just stamped. Okay? Now we are going to color our bears. Now, I wanted the lady to be in the booth, and I don't know why I think this way. Well, I do kind of know why, because the in nature, the male is usually the brighter, the more vibrant color, and the ladies are usually the lighter color. So that's, the whole mating thing. So I am just going to use my light crumb cake for Mrs. Bear here, and I'm going to start with my brush end. I'm going to do the same thing that I did on my other bear, and I'm going to use it like a blending brush. I'm just not going to color, and I'm just going to, I want her to be lighter, so I'm just going like that. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my light end, or my bullet tip, because it's not as much color comes out, so therefore it will be lighter. And I'm going to go over the dark, and I'm going to do the same thing as before. And as you can see, it is lighter because less ink is coming out of the bullet tip than the brush tip. Okay. And we're just going to, it's best to go in a circular motion for blending, and that way you don't get a drastic line. Okay, we're going to pull that color up with the ears and go in a circular motion. It smooths all those lines out. Okay. Now I am going to take my ivory and I'm going to do her snout, and I'm going to use the bullet tip for this because I want it to be lighter. And then I'm going to use Bubble Bath on this. And I am going to do the Bubble Bath Light. That's Flirty Flamingo, I think. Okay, Bubble Bath Light. And I'm going to use her, I'm going to do the bullet tip for her ears. And we're going to do the same thing with the blushing on her cheeks. Okay. Then I am going to take Real Red, and I'm going to use the light, and I am going to give her a little lipstick. Put that on her lips like lipstick, because she's kissing this bear here. All right, so now I'm going to use the dark and the light on Mr. Bear. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to color him in. I like to, where their arms meet, I like to add a little extra dark in there. Okay. And you could do just shadowing if you wanted. You do the shadowing on the left, like the sun was, where it hits. But I just want his belly to be lighter, and I want him to be a darker bear than his little girly friend here. Okay. Now we're going to go with our light with our brush tip. And this is ivory. Don't want to do that. All right. So how you guys doing? You hanging in there with me? Because we do have one more card after this. Takes a little bit longer, but I wanted to show, because there's not very many times where I've actually colored in a video. I usually do everything ahead, and I thought, well, I'll do most of it ahead, but I thought, I should probably color in a couple videos because I do enjoy it, but it does make the time go, takes up time, and I'm a little particular with my coloring. Okay, we have that. And now if you feel like some areas got a little bit lighter or than you like when you go over the top, especially if you have newer blends, I'm going to go in and I'm just going to add a little bit more dark where the light went. All right. He needs to have darker arms, I decided. Blends are so forgiving. You can easily go over them where you didn't like it the first time. And like I think I want his face to be darker. His ears. And then I'm going to go over with the light just at the where the belly is here. I just think he has a lighter belly. Okay, and then we're going to go with the ivory. And we're going to color his. I'm going to use the brush tip for him. Gives it a little bit darker. I'm going to take the dark bubble bath. And I'm going to color his one ear in. And then I'm going to do the same thing. He's got a little bit of blush there, but not much because we are going to, in Real Red, we are going to put some lipstick kisses on this bear because we gave her lipstick, right? Okay, so I'm going to take my little lips off of my block from making that trio. I'm just going to transfer it over to another block, but I want to clean it off first. Use my chamois, and it looks like it came off. Okay. Now, this is up to you. You don't have to, but I wanted it to look like he was getting kissed. Okay. You're going to take your lips, make sure they're going the right direction. And I am just going to start where his lips are. I'm going to put one there. And then we're going to put one like that. And I'm going to turn him slightly. And like she was really giving him a lot of smooches there. All right. So now we are going to take Mr. Bear here and we are going to put some dimensionals on the back of him. But I'm going to go more on this side of him, not his belly side, because he's overlapping the kissing booth. He's getting right in there. Okay. Peel these off, and we're going to put him like he's leaning in, like his elbows on the booth. Then we're going to take Lady Bear. I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of her. I'm going to use 2. And then we're going to put her close to kind of turn just a little. Okay, and then for embellishments, I am going to use those cute little shaker bits that we used last week. And I'm going to use the lips. We're going to pick out some lips here. And we're going to put lips on the kissing booth. I'm going to take my pick tool to grab them, because that to me seems easier. I'm just going to shake it a little bit so that I can see some of the lips in there. And see if we can't pull some out. Okay. So I'm going to put one like this. Oops, I suppose we need glue, right? Yes, I have a story for my card. Whenever I do stuff like Debbie, I always think of Missy. Missy is Debbie's daughter. And when she's doing like a fairy garden and stuff, she makes a story with her little peoples or little things. And that this is my little story for my bear and for Missy. Because she said to me once, she goes, "Don't you make little stories for your fairy garden?" And I never had. And she's like has names for them, and like I do that now. So funny. So cute. Okay, so we got a smooch there. We got one here. And I don't think I put a dot of glue there. No, up here. Put a little dot there. Little dab will do ya. I think I could get one. I think I got one. Make sure the lips are going the right way. And I dropped it. Oh, that's not a very, well, yeah, it's going the right way. So there's card number 3. I like this one. Again, the one I'm making is always my favorite at the time. But like I said, if you wanted to, you could put something on the inside and right in there. But I kind of liked it on the back because it just felt like it should be like that. Okay, last but not least, you guys, card number 4. All right. This one is a relatively easy card. Let's make some room here. Just kind of go. We got some extra lips over here. All right, so in your card kit, you will receive a thick basic white, okay, card base. You'll receive a piece of basic white for your mat that has been embossed with those hearts from the Made with Love suite. You'll receive a piece of DSP that will be cut for you that will go at the bottom. You'll receive a piece to stamp and die cut your bear, which I've already done. And you'll receive a piece of real red for your sentiment. And the bubble bath ribbon. You'll also receive that in your kit. Let's pull out the card so we can see what we're making. There is embossing on this one, so okay. First things first, what do we always do first? We fold and burnish our card. At least that's what I always do first. I don't know about you guys. Okay. Sometimes I like to go on both sides and give it a good crease. Okay. Now we're going to take our piece that's been embossed, our white, and we're going to add seal, but now it's been embossed and we want to go with a light hand not to tear it. This one isn't as bad because it's mostly debossed on this side. And then we're going to put this on this will cover our entire card. Oh, nope, nope, nope. Hold the phone. I'm going to grab my silicone mat. I don't want to do that yet because I want to tie my ribbon around it. Okay, so because I can set this on here because it won't stick. All right, so now I'm going to take my seal. You know, it wouldn't be a video if I didn't mess something up, right? Right. Okay, we're going to take our piece of, we made a kissing booth for my floral department out of palettes. Of course, no freaking. Oh, Lori, that's awesome. I love that. That is so cool. Okay, Lori worked at the floral department at Cub Foods, I think. Yeah. All right, and she was, in charge of the floral department. All right, so we're just going to take our piece of DSP and we're going to line that up at the bottom of our white mat, like that. Now I'm going to flip this over and we are going to add on our piece of bubble bath ribbon. I don't know. I usually cut my piece and then do this, and then, I don't wrap it all the way around. I could though, as much as I cut off, I might as well have, right? And then this was probably supposed to be the length to cut my bow. Let's trim a little bit more off. Oh yeah, Lori, send a picture, for sure. You could even post it on the Stamping Circle page if you wanted. Okay, so I just put my ribbon, and basically what I'm doing is I'm just covering the line from the DSP to the embossed piece. And so that's all you're going to do. And there was already glue on the back, so those could go right on there. I'm going to take this, move that out of the way, and now we're going to put this on our card base. And what I like to do, okay, you want to make sure that's opening the correct way. I take mine towards the bottom. I line it up. I have it not bent totally, but just a little. Can you see how I have this just bent a little? And then I let it fall down. Okay. Now we're going to color our little girly bear here, and we're going to do her in light crumb cake again, so as to give her that little softer color. And I'm going to go on the outside, and I'm going to go where her arms meet there, give it a little bit of dark. And then we're just going to scribble, 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 scribble. That's all you're doing with blending. It's just like you're scribbling, you're just going in circles. There are other ways to use blends. You don't always go in circles. There's a flicking that you do, but majority of the time it's circle, circle, circle. Now we're going to go with our bullet tip. And then we're going to color. I'm thinking maybe my crumb cake isn't very new. And it's really light. All right. Color, color, color. Yeah, I think my crumb cake might be running out. But when we had that sale on the blends that time, I'm pretty sure I'm going to go a little bit more here because it really is running out. And then I don't like how that looks. And when it dries lighter. And if you do have a little bit of like a line, it does eventually dissipate. I'm just coloring, coloring, coloring. I'm going to go over the ears again. Okay. Like so. All right, now we are going to take our ivory. We're going to take the bullet tip to get a lighter. Okay. And this we are going to add with dimensionals towards the right side. And I'm just going to put some right through the center of her on the back here. If you wanted to give her some lipstick, you certainly could. Maybe some bubble bath on this one, huh? Well, you could give her bright red. That would match the red on the sentiment label. Okay, so I'm not going to go all the way to the end, but I'm going to go just about, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch. Okay, I am going to ground her. I know it's on DSP, but I am going to use the light crumb cake, and I'm going to use the brush end, and I'm just going to make just enough so it doesn't look like she's flying. But you could, and you could do the wings on this one like she's a little Cupid. Okay, give her enough underneath her feet there. Now, this we are going to use embossing powder for our sentiment, and it's going to say, sending lots of love your way to celebrate this special day. Now, I love this sentiment because it can be, doesn't just for Valentine's Day, this sentiment works for a lot of different things. I just love it. We are going to stamp our sentiment in Versamark ink. I am going to grab my stamp. Okay, and just like before, I'm going to set it down because then you get the natural way your stamp is supposed to be. You're not stretching it one way or the other. And we're going to ink this up, but before we do, I'm going to use my embossing buddy on here. Okay. Get the this out of the way, and we are going to go at the top to the left because I am going to trim some of this down. I'm giving you a little bit bigger of a piece. If you wanted to center it, you certainly could. You don't have to trim it down, but you want to go to the left and to the top. I didn't want to give such a small strip because it's harder sometimes to stamp on that. I thought it might be easier for you guys you could decide if you wanted to trim it, you could trim it or not. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my reverse tweezers and look at this. I got brand new embossing powder in the mail today. My other one was like hardly anything was left in it anymore and didn't even look white. Okay, we're going to tap very lightly. We don't want to tap too much off. I'm going to give it another go round because it looked to me like I might have over tapped. Nothing wrong with doing it twice, right? All right. I am going to heat up my heat gun. And it probably is going to be a little bit harder to hear me. But we're going to... Ooh, I got a lot. Hold on a second. Sorry. I got a lot of extra on there. Otherwise, we'd have a lot of little sprinkles. Okay. Now we are going to emboss this. This technique has been around for a very long time. It still wows me every single time. I just love that bright white pops through when you heat it, and it gives it such a nice crisp look, and it doesn't take any time at all. Okay, so there we have that. And oh, you can tell this is new embossing powder. It's so pretty, so white. All right, now I'm just going to trim some of the bottom off. Okay, and we are going to put dimensionals on the back of this. Boy, I have quite the mess over here today. That must mean I've had a successful stamping day, right? And we're just going to go here, here, and not all the way to the end because I'm going to tuck that under her. Okay. And we're just going to go like this. Lift that up a little. You know what? I think I'm going to cut some of this off. Yeah, that's better. And I am going to go right over the ribbon. Like that. Then I'm going to tie a bow. And yes, see, I used the little itty bitty, I used the wrong piece of ribbon that was in my kit. The longer piece is to tie the bow, the shorter piece is to go around the card. All right. This is not going to be the greatest bow, but it will have to do. All right. You have not known the frustration of tying a bow until you have tied a bow on a video. All right, so I just made a little tiny bow because I had a little tiny piece of ribbon. And we are going to put a glue dot right on the knot. Dots on the knot, as Melissa would say. And we are going to center that underneath our sentiment. Now, I absolutely love the little envelopes from these and the little hearts, the pink hearts, the bubble bath hearts. I'm just going to put a bunch on here. And because it says sending lots of love, I just had to have these little envelopes here. And we're going to take your pick tool And we are going to dab them on here. And the little envelopes have little hearts on them. So, so cute. Okay. We used these last week in our the Endless Love class to go. Oh, that one's a little high. It's okay. Now I'm going to put, this is up to you, but I am adding 3 hearts right here. Because why not? There's a ton of them, right? I'll put one. We're just going to do a trio. Okay. This. I can't even see my glue anymore. Like that. And like that. See if I can get it to unstick. Thanks, Lori. All right. There's card number 4. Seems to me lately that an hour and a half is what I've been doing lately. Let's bring out all these cards here. See what we've got. What did we make today? I don't know which one my favorite is. You know, I at first it was the first card, but I don't know. I kind of like this step card. I don't know. I think I like them all. And then we have this. So there is all of our cards for our card class to go. Thank you guys for joining me and sticking with me. I truly appreciate it. Next week we are going to be doing coffee break and cards. I'm just flipping the camera. So next week, next Thursday at 2 o'clock Central Time, we're going to do coffee break and cards. Um, mhm. And we're going to be making, this will be the last week of our um, Valentine series, and we are going to be making treat bags and treat holders next week. So I hope you can join me for that. Thanks, Debbie. Oh, you're welcome. The favorite is the step card. Yeah, I like that step card. I really do. And to just, you've seen the stamps, you've seen the dies. These easily can be used for other types of cards, not just Valentine cards. There, you could do, it has a little string of balloons. You could do birthday cards with this so much. And I mean, it's worth it in my mind just to have that little kissing booth. So, all right, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach me out. All my info can be found on my website at expressionsbylish.com. There's all kinds of links on there for you to get a hold of me. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later. Bye.